Welcome to each and every one of you. I'm Reverend Janet Childs, and we have Reverend Corky Whitaker here, and we are all part of the speaker series. We're so grateful that each and every one of you has chosen to come tonight to this amazing seminar. And every month, on the second Tuesday of the month, Universal Church of the Master holds its speaker series. Now, this is very important, my friends. Remember, you are always welcome to come to the speaker series. And now that you have attended one, if you've never attended one before, you should be on our constant contact list, which will be great. And I'm just wanting you to know that we have an incredible speaker. We're waiting for her to come on now. But while we're waiting, I'm just going to share with you a little bit about Reverend Monnica Sepulveda. She's an incredible individual who has spent many years. She is one of our elders in the Universal Church of the Master, and she has done so many things. Her bio is like 5 or 6 pages long, so I'm just going to read a couple of things. She is a very important and very popular internationally known medium, intuitive therapist, telepath, numerologist. She's a gifted telepath and empath since her birth, and she specializes in what she calls solution-oriented intuitive therapy. She is a numerologist, and as that, she can make accurate predictions for folks, and she is most proud of her work as a medium. And the medium is just she's an amazing medium. She has been, my friends, the sponsor of our own Reverend Tom Gary, who has been a long-time elder of our church and is on the phone here as we are sharing this. And so she was his sponsor. She was the one that sponsored him to become a reverend, and he has since sponsored many of us, on that journey, along with so many others. And so we want to let you know that this is just a very, very powerful time. These are powerful times that we are in. And when we take a moment and just take a deep breath and acknowledge all of that wisdom that can come from sharing together insights and intuitive understanding about this most important question. So I am waiting for our wonderful Monnica, and I may end up giving her a call just to make sure she's on. So hold on one moment. And Corky, can you share a little bit about the speaker series while I am on mute? I think you're on mute, Corky.
The second Tuesday of every month, we have a speaker. We have a list of speakers that will be speaking, that we invite to come, and they speak for 2 hours on a subject that of their choice. And we have usually it's spiritual, or it might be oriented toward a gift that they have that they want to share, or an experience that they've had that it's a variety of things, but it's usually informative and entertaining, and we've really enjoyed it. And then we record it, and then about 2 or 3 weeks after the service, it's put on our website. If you go to the u-c-m.org, you will find the link to the YouTube Universal Church of the Master YouTube channel, and be able to view past lectures. And so it's many times it's people from UCM, because that's the audience that we're speaking to, but not always. If there's someone who is outside of UCM that has a topic that would be germane to our of interest, we would gladly invite them. And it's we don't pay our speakers, so it's a voluntary thing. And if you're interested in speaking, then it would you could call the either Janet or myself, and we would put you on. We would talk to you and find out what you want to do and let you know how you can do it and that sort of thing, and then and you could find Janet's number. Call the UCM office. So you can get that information on the web, just from u-c-m.org, and they'll get you in touch with us or us with you, and so that's how that works. And several people that are here have spoken. Donna has spoken. I think Joan has spoken, and Joyce C. has spoken, and Annie, have you spoken? I think. Nope, not yet. Anyway, and I have, and Janet has, of course. So, and Mary Gary. Anyway, so it's an interesting way to spend 2 hours from 6 to 8 on the second Tuesday of every month, and so everyone's invited to come, and it's usually there's time for Q&A at the end, and I've always found it interesting and been doing it for several years, so it's you can trust me, and so we're trying to get our speaker on, I think.
I think she's coming on any minute.
Okay.
And she pointed out to me, and I want to honor two things. One is Mercury's in retrograde. Okay? Mercury's in retrograde. And the other is that we have all worked together as a community to welcome each other into this wonderful sacred space. And here she is. Here is our wonderful Monnica.
Hi! Yay!
Hey, Monnica! Yay.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay,
Yes.
I can't hear you. Let's see. All right. There we go.
Yay.
Why are you getting this working?
Yay. So glad. So glad.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you, Corey. So glad. It's so good to see you. And Monnica, I've talked about you, about all of your incredible gifts and talents. I want you to know that.
Thank you.
She's a national television, radio, podcast star, and she's done many things, not only in the United States, but globally. And so as we take a look at this particular topic, why did this happen to me versus why did this happen for me? So take it away.
Yay!
Thank you. It's good to see all of you. I am late because I couldn't find the link to the Zoom call, so I apologize for that. I can make up for that, but I wanted to talk about a couple of things. You know, in 2024, I was diagnosed with cancer, uterine cancer, and I had a hysterectomy, and that triggered a stroke, which I'm still overcoming the stroke. It takes 2 years, and I'm about 4 months out. So I regained my speech because I was only able to speak one word, and I had to learn how to walk again. And it was very challenging, to say the least, but I totally believe in my heart that it was a blessing for me. So this didn't happen to me, it happened for me. And when we say that, instead of, why did this happen to me, we then see that there's a lesson to be learned. I'm speaking a little slowly. Sometimes I have to take some sip of water because my mouth gets locked. I'm speaking slower than I normally am because, again, my brain isn't healing completely. It's rewired. The brain gets rewired. Excuse me. The brain gets rewired. And once it's rewired, which is a 2-year process, then it was like I never had a stroke at all. So going through a lot of healing and a lot of therapy and a lot of radiation, going through all this all at once, I always said this was a blessing from a higher power, the universe or God, whatever you want to call it. You can call it love, you can call it the I am, you can call it, in the book of Genesis talks about God described itself as the I am. There was not no gender. So I always believe that it is love. And for people that are atheists or agnostic, I always say, well, do you believe in love? And they say, well, yes, I do. And so you can say, connect with that, connect with love. And they are able to do that. So the lesson for me was all about self love because I was pretty much a workaholic and I was being there for others and I wasn't there for myself. So, yeah, it was a tough lesson. But again, I still say it's a blessing and I give thanks every single day. I give thanks for the rewiring of my brain and I see it to completion because, we have a body that's formed from head to toe like every year. So it's been 2 years. I could feel the improvement. Again, even if you would have if you would have spoken to me 6 months ago, would have noticed a big difference in my speech because with it goes memory. We lose some memory when we have an aphasia stroke. Bless you. Anyway, an aphasia stroke affects the left brain. So not only were my teachers were really inspired by my recapturing my speech, but I was able to learn English and Spanish both. And I never lost my ability to do readings. I was doing them, but I had to take a year off of work because I put all my attention on myself. And I actually lost, I would say 95% of my clients. And that was worldwide. A lot of people thought I had retired, but I hadn't. I was still doing readings, but I was doing them differently, slower. And I made contact with, I call it the voice. It's an entity from a very high frequency in a different galaxy. And I call him the voice. He made connection with me in May of 2020, and I could hear him. So that developed my ability as a telepath, and I was able to hear him, and he gave me such precise predictions, and it gave me specifics, and they all came true. And to this day, he still speaks to me. And I asked him if he'd be willing to speak to my clients to give them wisdom, solutions, ideas, and predictions. And he said, of course. So to this day, I don't know what he looks like, but I can tell you that it's a male voice, but he has female energy. So from all the stuff that happened for me, there's a lot of benefits that I got to experience. And that was really an amazing experience for me. Even in about 6 months from now, you'll be talking to a different person again because my personality will come back even stronger and I'll be able to then speak in my normal pace, which is typically very, very rapidly. I speak very rapidly. I apologize. I had hand surgery just a couple of days ago, so my hand's a little bit in pain, and I've got some allergies going on. That's what comes with living in Hollister. I used to live on the coast, and I'm going to go back there again in a couple of years. But this is what you got. but I've got a ton of knowledge. I've been with UCM for 50, gonna be 54 years, May 15th. That's a
That's
long
right.
time. It's a long time.
It's a long time, and you know what we're going to do for you, Reverend Monica, is we're going to light this candle for you. It is a purple candle, and it's our tradition here to light a candle at Speaker Series to
Oh,
remind us that we are the light for each other. And so we're going to fire this up for you and for the gift of your presence
thank you
and
so
the
much.
gift of your wisdom.
I light candles every day, but I need a purple one. I love that. And I love the heart. Thank you so much. That's beautiful.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I believe in the light and I believe in the light of candles, especially the color, because the color purple has to do with the top chakra connecting us to our higher power, So thank you for that. I do color therapy, by the way. I teach a lot of lessons with my clients, one-on-one, and I have about 50 topics, which is it's a lot of them. But anyway, getting back to what I was going through, um, it was um, it was a lot. Am I blocking the view or can you see me okay? Yeah, you can see me okay. All right, because I was going to type out my notes, but I didn't do it. I so I haven't have them up there with me. Anyway, so what I'm doing right now, the best I can, is I'm providing a lot of, because I lost a lot of my clients and I didn't know you were still working. Yeah, I am. I don't, I'll be 75 in April 10th. I'm in Aries with Moon and Gemini and Pisces rising and lots of Taurus. So, what I did is, decide to do 3-minute videos on social media. It's a wonderful platform, and I teach free lessons and teach them. Basically, the top is called staying out of the chaos, because too many people are being sucked in by the chaos, and that is actually makes us a part of it. If we get sucked into it, we feed it and it becomes our reality, when in reality it's an illusion, because it's ever moving, constantly moving. So it's an illusion. So therefore we can create our own reality by staying centered in love, staying centered in peace and harmony. Understand that, let karma finish it, and also, and it will, there's going to be a major shift going down in the next 3 months. There's going to be the the fall of you know who, and and things are going to change for the better, because wherever there's darkness, there's the light that extinguishes it, and it brings us back to balance. But I also heard from the voice that we had to go through this experience in order to wake people up, because people were too complacent and people got very used to their cushy lives. Nobody was challenged and people were complacent. And so what happens is we get challenged for the first time. We have to go through something that was happening in the 1930s and very close, almost similar, and still happening now, but don't in your own way, we must speak up, not out loud, but in our own meditation and in our own, within ourselves. We can create our meditation and our reality through visualization. That's the best way to speak to the universe. It's the best way to speak to um, or higher power, or whatever you want to call it. Everyone has a different name. but it all means the same. The key is to give up. And I always say, I cast my burdens to God and I set myself free. My burdens may be a fear, worry, any doubt, any negative thinking, feelings, any kinds of anything that is the opposite of love. I cast this burden, I give it to God, and I set myself free. The last part of it is very important, that we set ourselves free so that we're not burdened. We don't have to be burdened by it, but we can give it up, certainly. So there's no reason to be down. Okay. And so I think Mercury's retrograde right now, so we I'm glad we have a good technical transmission right now. And the delay was part of this retrograde. It was weird because I couldn't get a link. I tried and tried and tried, and then I tried the phone number and I couldn't get through. It was the weirdest thing. But anyway, I thought, okay, just take a deep breath, it'll work out. So anyway, when we talk about a meditation, we don't have to spend, like I spent 20 to 30 minutes because I bless everything. It's important to visualize the reality that you want, but you also must give thanks for the blessings that you have, even those that you haven't even experienced yet, because they're in the ethers, they're in another frequency. And to bring them into the third frequency, or this earth frequency, which a lot of people say we're in the fifth frequency now. I've been saying that's like 2005. So what happens is that we want to bring it into this frequency, and we must stay calm in order to listen to intuition. We technically have three brains. People think of the top right and left hemisphere, but it's intuition is the right brain. The left brain, of course, is the past. It doesn't have anything new to say. So let it go. Unpack it and let it go. We don't need to visit that any longer. So what happens is that the second heart, the second brain is the heart. The heart cannot lie, just like intuition cannot lie either. It only tells the truth. It's incapable of lying. The heart is incapable of lying, and um, it's the second brain. The third brain is the gut. Like a lot of people use, I get a strong gut feeling about this. And men typically use that phrase more than women. They'll say, I have a strong gut feeling. Or when I wake up in the morning, I'll have a gut feeling about it and I'll know what to do, because they have to rest their left brain, because people tend to overthink. That's dangerous. Overthinking is dangerous. So we want to align with the three brains. And when they're in agreement, the heart feels good, the intuition feels right, the gut feels right. That means it's a go. There's no debating that. And a lot of people think things such as, well, what if? And you know, they ask the wrong questions, and that's really none of our business, because the universe, God, or the higher power takes care of all the what ifs, and will actually bring us something even better than what we even visualize for ourselves. Because if we let go and let God, so to speak, we get the best of all worlds. So we have to learn to listen. A lot of people's lines are busy because they're too busy doing. But, I've always been the kind of person that said, you're not a human doing, you're a human being. And so if you write those words down, they're little pearls of gems, the little sayings that I always have throughout my whole history of studying. And believe me, I've studied my whole my life because I don't have a husband or any children. So all my whole life, in my 74 years, I've spent all this time doing this work. I had my first message as a medium at age 11, and that was 1962. And that's when I realized I was able to hear information and see. So my clairvoyance was on point, my clairaudience was on point, clairsentience was my ability to feel, because I was able to feel what people feel inside, and I can also feel what what's going on with their health. But I had to dial that back because I was being too empathetic. So we have to learn how to dial it back. And interestingly enough, I learned the lesson, excuse me, I learned the lesson of learning how to dial back my empathy by none other than John Lennon, who used to be with the Beatles. He came through in the 1980s. I went to a seance and I said, if he's really here, I want him to say the words, life is what happens to you while you're making other plans. And the medium said those words. She said, I have a message for you, Monica. Life is busy. Life is what happens to you while you're busy making other plans. And so at that time, I realized I was able to have access to him. And he told me, he says, in order to dial back your empathy, wear a hat. And to this day, I always wear hats. Today, I'm wearing my baseball cap, of course, but I also have a lot of other hats that I wear all the time, and and it really does help. And I thought that was kind of interesting that I got that message from him. But anyway, in the social media, you might want to, if you want to promote your business, start making little 3-minute videos and just put them on Instagram, Threads, on Twitter, on Blue Sky, on Snapchat, and on TikTok. There's 6 of them there. And you can just make one, write the description, and put them on each of them. And you'll be surprised at how many new people will follow you, because what you're saying is something that we need to hear right now. We need solutions right now. We need to know that this is not the norm and it's not going to last. What I'm talking about, getting out of the chaos, which is what I call my series, getting out of the chaos, I believe is something that we can all do. So anyway, the information that we get, we must remain in a calm state. Avoid the news unless you can let it go in one ear and out the other. If you see, I'm trying to talk back to my normal self, which is going too quickly, and that's when I can trip up. So I apologize for that, but this is what we've got right now. I also want to invite people to ask me any questions during this presentation. You don't need to quiet. You don't need to be quiet. You can ask me questions along the way, because I will give you information that actually will be given to me by the voice. It'll be his information, not mine. That's how I get the information. So I don't give you my opinion, I give you my insight. So if anybody needs to ask a question right now, this would be a time to do it.
That's a beautiful gift. Thank you, Monica. And I'm going to put you in with the regular, group here so you can see folks and hear them. And I really thank you for your story, because one of the things that you brought up with your story is that you had to reach out to a certain degree with some trust.
Yeah.
And to say, this is not working for me. My body is not working. So there's something that's out of balance.
Yeah. And
right?
It's interesting for you to say that because it starts off with wrong thinking and then it goes to the emotional level. And if we don't listen to the emotional level, then it gets transferred to the physical level. But it's all avoidable if we just stay spiritual. And I was more, it was more important for me to work and, be there for my clients because things just happen to fall into place for me. I call it sometimes Monica magic, just in jest. And things always fell into place for me throughout my entire career when I, started doing radio. And then I went radio nationwide. Then I was written about a book from a book by Paulette Cooper, and it was the top 100 psychics of America. I made that book. I mean, I was in that book. She interviewed 1,000 people with this kind of gift. I don't call it psychics because psychic is a word that we used in the last century. It is intuition. Our intuition, we all have it. Otherwise, when you say psychic, it makes people feel like you have some kind of power. But we all have it, and we can, and I can teach you. And what took me 50 years to learn, I can teach you within 6 months. It's so quickly, and I didn't understand it back in the 70s. How was that going to work? Well, yeah, we didn't have computers, we didn't have Zoom calls. Now everything's moving quickly, and we can teach it very quickly. So, what I found is that I can teach it within 6 months. You can learn everything that I know. And that will be part of my legacy because I'm also writing 4 books. I stumbled onto a British author who's written over 30 books, and he's included me in his books. His name is David Icke. He was a conspiracy theorist, but it turns out that everything that he said, including what's going on with pedophilia, he said that 25 years ago when he was exposing it. They thought he was nuts. People would throw pies at him because he was so high profile that he was recognizable. But we became good friends since 2002 because I contacted him right when 9/11 happened because I knew that wasn't the real story. We're fed a lot of lies, and you have to be able to go within and see what you feel about, what's happening. And I knew it was an inside job. So I reached out and I found an article by him and I contacted him, and that's when we became good friends. So he also set me up with the television show in London, and that's how I got clients around the world. So nothing happens by, it's not just, oh well, it's we draw it to ourselves. We become magnetized, and we magnetize the very things that we need in order to fulfill our path and our purpose. And whatever you want to do with your life, think bigger. I always say the universe has no budget, so ask for more, you know. And so therefore, you can ask for more, you can think bigger, and if you can see it, you can achieve it. And so I got my competitive nature through my dad, who's passed on 13 years ago, and he wasn't the best dad at all. But after he passed away, he finally decided to tell me why I had such a karmic life, and it goes all the way back to Auschwitz. I actually flew to Auschwitz in Poland. I knew I was buried there, and I knew that I did some bad things, and that's why I had a karmic life. But I sat there right where the arches were. It's that building, Auschwitz 2. It's got that brick building where the trains used to go through. And I was sitting there on the dirt, and I kept saying, please forgive me. And I heard a voice saying, forgive yourself. You've already been forgiven. I have some pebbles, which I collected from the ground, and I brought them home. I snuck them in, of course, and I realized that that actually, I'm writing a book about it. It's called The Life of the Happy Medium, and it only took 2 lifetimes. So that was the book I was writing when this happened, because it affected my right side and my finger, they drop when I hit the keys. So once I'm completely whole, and I'm whole right now because I always say I give thanks for healing and wholeness right here, right now. And so I'm writing 4 books. That's one of them. The other one is called Right Brain Thinking in a Left Brain World, and I've trademarked that one because we need to be more right-brained, and the book shows you exactly how to get that uh, done. And I'm also going to.
Uh-oh. Did she freeze? I'm so sorry. So this is an amazing opportunity.
Bit though. Listen
There
to
she
it.
goes. Okay, we lost you for a moment, Monica.
Oh, what part did you lose me?
You froze for a moment. So if you could just repeat the last thing you said.
In Auschwitz or after
No,
my books?
after Auschwitz and after your books.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
We
yeah,
just,
yeah. I'm writing a book called "The Right Brain Thinking in the Left
yeah,
Brain World." Yeah.
we got that.
Okay. Yeah, and I'm going to show you how to do it. But I'm gonna put them on audiobooks also. But I have to again regain my speech so that I can speak clearly like I normally do.
Yeah.
And and so, but I'm not doing bad right now.
You're
Not at
doing
all.
very well.
I don't judge myself at all. This is the way it is. And so anyway, with that book, Right Brain Thinking and Left Brain, where we need to start listening to the right brain. And the reason why is because the we're overtrained in the left brain, and the schools took out the all the fun, uh, classes like choir and even sewing. We used to learn how to sew and do creative things, workshop for the boys, and but they took out all that kind of stuff, and that was intentional because they wanted to program the left brain and not the right brain. So if you are, I have an exercise for you. Cross your hands like this and see which thumb is on top. Now, with my hand, my right thumb is on top. Now try putting it the opposite way, and you'll find that it doesn't feel comfortable. It'll feel more comfortable doing the other way. Okay? So the right brain means, the right thumb means that I've got a dominant left brain. Okay? Now, if you cross your arms like this, you'll notice that you'll have one arm on top of the other. But if you try to cross them the other way, it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel natural. So with this one, I've got the left arm on the top, which means I'm getting access to the right brain. So my hemispheres are both equally used. So in order to, let's say you're using the right hand, I can't even cross my arm this way. It's not natural. But if you're using the left brain too much, just start picking up things with your right hand. Or when you're in a line at a grocery store, shift all your body weight to the right side of your body, and that will trigger the left brain. If you need to trigger the right brain, shift your body weight to the left side, and that will trigger the right brain. Okay, I know it's backwards with this, but that's what you want to do. If you want to, I obviously pick up with my left hand. I'm left-handed, but I do everything with my right hand except for right, and I pick up this with my left hand. So that's triggering the right brain. But in school, they try to give me the lefty scissors, and I couldn't cut with my left hand. I could only cut with my right hand. So that's why I use both hemispheres. So that's a good little exercise you can try on with like children, and you can give them a little test. And it's fun because, it's not It's an easy one to do, but you'll be able to tell whether they're right brain or left brain. And so anyway, um, where was I? Oh, okay. Um, so when we go to um the right brain, again, like I said, it's consistent, it's accurate, and it never lies because it can't lie to us. So quit asking questions like, but what if? A lot of people say, what, how am I going to get someone to publish my book? Well, I don't care. They're going to get published. It'll show up like everything else has shown up in my life. Whatever it is that I needed to have, uh, I've always attracted it. Again, I don't chase something, I attract it. So I visualize myself like a magnet, and then I see things coming to me rather than chasing them. I see them coming to me, and I've done all that. I've done that all my life, including meeting people that are just like mega stars, really, really famous. And all I do is think about them, and then some or another, they show up. But the only one that has eluded right now so far is Paul McCartney, because again, I was a Beatles fan. It was my era. I creatively got tickets in row two in a huge stadium of 50,000 people. We were in row two, and we were, uh, they walked right in front of us, and I had a Super 8 film camera, and I was, I think, 14, 15, and there was a press conference, but Ron Howard, who was he was the one that was Opie, and Andy Griffin, and he became a very famous producer, and he made a film called 8 Days a Week, and he wanted people to send their footage that they filmed at concerts, and he wanted to have no sound. Well, we couldn't afford sound. We had cameras with no sound. And so I submitted my film because we were at my brother and I were at the very last concert that the Beatles ever performed in August of 1966. They didn't perform another concert again after that. They quit. And so I made the movie, and I saw myself in the credits, and we were the last one to be shown because it was the last concert. So again, there's things that happen in life that happened in 1966, but yet it ends up in a movie that was released probably 5 years ago, 6 years ago. And again, they all tie in together. And if we allow this to happen, magic seems to be our way of life. It's a wonderful way of putting it. That's why I call it Monica Magic, because I learned when I was 15 years old. I paid $8.50 for my tickets to the Beatles concert, and that was the most expensive. So
Absolutely.
we had to send in our $19,
Right.
and I just wrote a letter, and I pretty much channeled it. I started off with, "Hello to whom this may concern. I'm a nobody. I'm just another teen fan who's crazy about the Beatles. But if I was a celebrity and a well-known person, I know that you would give me the best tickets in the house. So maybe you can look in your own heart and make this girl a really happy person by giving her some really good seats." And that's when I got seats in row two. So I was channeling a long time ago, and I was getting information. Like I said, by the time I was 12 years old, 11, no, yeah, 11 years old, I was already being a medium. But I can't tell you who came to me because that's going to be in my book. So I'm not going to release that.
You're not going to. So I just want to offer, Monica, what you're talking about is really being in touch with ourselves and being in touch with the world. and really honoring our intuition. And that is what your life work has really been about, helping people to honor their intuition and their deeper knowing, and to trust that deeper intuition and the connection with perhaps, the greater universe, great
Yeah.
spirit, creator, whatever we would like to name that. It's like our connection with and being a part of that. So it's like weaving, a connection. And I thank you for all of your stories, because what it helps us to see is that we may think we're very ordinary, but in actuality, we have a lot of power.
That's the whole point. And that's one of the things I say on my 3-minute videos. We are very powerful people. We can change the trajectory of this life if we all do our part. This earth is an experiment. The experiment is what what if we create what if a planet is created where we have free will, choice. Therefore, the choices we make, we need to be responsible and make responsible choices. Choose every day what it is that we want and stop the foolishness of wasting our energy by telling ourselves lies about ourselves, being judgmental of ourselves, thinking less about ourselves. I grew up very, very insecure. I grew up in a very volatile home. And, like I said, my dad helped me out a lot once he passed away, but he wasn't always like this. This man was an alcoholic and very abusive physically. So I got a lot of beatings. And when you hit somebody, a child, it makes them not, they don't think about the mistake they made. They think that they are the mistake. So I was telling myself, well, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? And that's what immediately, put me on this direction of needing to know. And immediately I was teaching classes by the time I was 18, and I had a mother superior and 3 nuns, and I was teaching out of a house every Tuesday. And the 3 nuns and the Mother Superior said, you need to leave the Catholic Church because you know way too much. Because I was versed on what was going on, the St. Thomas version, and the time of that Rasputin. I guess it was the 5th century or 6th century. But I remember telling them a lot of information about reincarnation and about the truth and about the Gospels that were eventually found, the book of Thomas. I have a book about the 50 Gospels. That's a good book to get, by the way. So you could read about the 50 Gospels. And you're when you read them, we're in alignment with it. But it was all hidden, and it was hidden in order to amass control over people. They didn't have to jail them. They just jailed them with a lot of lies about heaven and hell. Heaven and hell is created on earth based on our decisions. We can either live, and everybody has a story to tell, including my own. It was very hard at the beginning, and I had to become the best in everything that I did, whether it be cheerleading in high school. I had to become, because I was so introverted, I had to become well known. The best way to become well known is become what? A cheerleader, right? Because everyone says hello to you. And then this way, I get to say hello to them back. So I found ways of becoming the best. And even in my work, when I study through Reverend Eva Kane, I still want to find out what happened to her. She was an excellent teacher, and I was blessed when I started studying with her in 1969. She lived in Saratoga, California. And back then we didn't have a lot of teachers, but when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And that's why I always invite people, if they want to study with me, I'll work with their budgets, because I am kind of expensive, if you go to my website, but I have packages and I work with people's budgets. because I don't want them to give me a reason why they can't afford me. I want them to want to learn. But there's got to be an exchange on this earth, unless we barter. But it's hard to barter with someone who lives in Norway, you know? So anyway, so what you want to do is understand that this planet is one of free will. It was a test, and this planet has actually failed with Atlantis and Lemuria. We failed through greed, and it was heading in that direction. But it's going to foil. It's going to the things are not going to work out the way they think they are. This whole Nazism and stuff, that's going to go down the toilet. There's something called karma, and she's a bitch. And she,
Well, that's profoundly said.
well, I mean, it's true. She takes names, and she does her thing. I call her a she because that's the feeling I'm getting. It's a she, and so she's had. Oh, pardon my French, but that's all my. That's three planets in Taurus. I kind of tell it like it is, and I've been holding back, but I had to draw the line when I talk about karma. So it's working much faster. We're back in the 70s when we'd have a thought or a vision, it would take months for it to manifest. So we weren't uh, connecting the two together. But as time was speeding up, we're learning that we're able to visualize and manifest much faster. I had a friend, his name was Maurice White, and he was the lead singer of a group called Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yeah.
And yeah, and Maurice and he came, we went to his hotel room, and he looked at me and he said, "You're an Aries, aren't you?" I said, "Yeah, I am." And he started to give me a reading, and he was so profound. And so I said, why is it Earth, Wind, and Fire? I said, "You're a Sagittarius, December 19th." And he said, "Because I don't have any water signs in my chart." So I called the group Earth, Wind, and Fire. So he had earth signs, he had earth signs, he had fire signs, and wind signs, in his chart. That's where the name came from. Then he told me the story of how the extraterrestrials actually took him up, and he um he was gone for the oh, hi, I see a new person. Hi. Anyway, so when what happened, he said that he was gone for like about 2 weeks time, and they showed him how to manifest instantly. So he put a quarter in his hand, which was silver. He says, "Now think about gold," and the quarter turned to a gold instantly. And he told me about the um, he told me about how well, for lack of a better term, UFOs, how they looked on the inside, and he took a journey through different galaxies. By the way, we have 3 trillion galaxies. We live in the Milky Way, but we have 3 trillion galaxies. Can you imagine? So, I can't create, a galaxy or beings. I can co-create though. And that's the gift that we're given, is the ability to co-create. And when we co-create, that means we create our own reality. And that's why we have to have that responsibility in order to make it happen and let it happen, you know? And so with Maurice White, we used to talk on the phone like almost daily. I was going to do an infomercial, um, but um, another man named Kurt Robinson, who was really working for the 49ers, and which is my team. I'm totally into sports. Bay Area girl. I'm from Santa Clara, So Warriors, Giants, and the 49ers. So he introduced me to a lot of players. I met a lot of players, including Joe Montana and also Johnny Cochran, if you imagine that. And I walked up to Johnny Cochran, who's O.J. Simpson's attorney, if you remember him. If it doesn't fit, you must have quit. Remember that story? I said,
Yep.
"Come on, Johnny, you know he did it." And he smiled at me. He said, "Well, I was paid to do a job, and that's what I did." And we talked for a long, long time. And as he left, he shouted across the stadium, he said, "Monica, I'm leaving now." And I thought, how sweet. And I got his autograph, and again, these are the things that happen, for me, that I run into people, and that attorney that was trying to get me out of that infomercial deal with Maurice White, he finally did that. And I just found him on Instagram. So I hadn't talked to him in probably 20 years. So it was interesting. And I used to have some of the 49ers come to my home, and
That's
just
wonderful.
visit, and it's fun. They were kind of blown away because I was predicting when they were coming to, what Super Bowl they're going to win and who they're going to play against, and they were all spooked out by me, but they became believers because, you know, um, I was right, and I said, "Yeah, you're going to play Denver and you're going to win. You're going to blow them out." After a while, they just said, "Oh my, not Denver, anybody but Denver." And sure enough, they blew them out. And so those kinds of things, they happen for us because it's all meant to be. And when we stay steady on our path, what happens is that it just comes to us. It reveals itself to us. And so it's not like I'm lucky. It has nothing to do with luck. I don't believe in luck. I always say luck is WORK. It's work. But it's really fun. I was meditating today, and I was it was my hand was hurting. My doctor said to start pulling on my finger. I had trigger finger, it was locked. Now I'm able to see it and fold it. It wasn't. I used to be able to go like this, and it was very painful. But now, after the surgery I just had 4 days ago, um, I am able to feel it working. So you know that I've had 19 surgeries in my lifetime. So I was a little bit afraid to go into anesthesia because anesthesia, there's a lot of hair loss when you have anesthesia. But the key is to take biotin before you have your uh, surgery, at least a month in advance, and then stay on it for the duration of your life. Biotin, and it is actually um, it's a little teeny pill, easy. Just it's just called biotin. So if you have thinning hair, you can do that. And I'm now using red light therapy as well to add collagen to my face, which is why I don't look my age yet. Age going to be 75 in a couple months, you know. And
So, Monica, I just have to stop you because what you're talking about, I mean, I don't know about the rest of you on this, but it's calling me to remember moments in my life where it was pivotal, where it was pivotal, happening to me, happening for me.
yeah,
And so I'm wondering if we can hear from some other folks, if we can share together as a group. When have you found this happening in your life? And we'll give Monica a little breath. Go ahead, Annie.
Well, first off, I want to thank Monica very much for her stories because I hear so many parallels and similarities throughout my life. And I too am dealing with ovarian cancer at this point in time that has recurred 2 times. And I have always been in a positive attitude of, this is not for me, this is not mine. I don't own it. And yet, there's been times that I've lived a lot of my dreams. I've met John Anderson of Yes. I have his personal email address, things that I've wanted to do. My dreams have come true. I've had many things that have happened for me. But I've spent some time during this journey, this healing journey, of wondering, why is this happening to me, and doing a lot of self blame. Because as a spiritual person, I say, what did I do to cause this karma? What did I do to cause this to happen to me? And you are helping me to remember, to find where the blessings are in this journey. So I just want to say thank you.
Well, I have an answer for you, because I was listening to, and when I was listening to you, I was also listening inside to see what I wanted to say to you. First of all, the voice said, you had an experience with cancer, but you didn't have cancer. So don't own it. You had an experience with it. Now, what you can do, you can share it with other people and how you got through it. By saying the same thing. I had an experience with cancer, but I didn't have it. I never owned it. It just passed through my body. Now, if you didn't get it the first time, you have an opportunity to go through it again. It's not a punishment and it's not karma. What I was hearing from you is it wasn't karma and it wasn't something to punish you. You didn't do anything bad about that. Okay, the key is to show people to ascend to a higher level of spirituality is why it came to you. Do you understand that?
I do. Thank you. Yes.
Go to a higher level of spirituality, and you're experiencing it, and it's passing. So therefore, if you're ready to let it go, but learn from it and teach other people how they can also get rid of anything. I had uterine cancer, stage 2. I'm cancer free so far. I go to my appointments every 6 months. I'm sure you probably do the same kind of protocol,
Every 3 weeks right now, but yes.
Every 3 weeks?
Yeah, I'm in a clinical trial because I went through 2 series of chemotherapy and it came back both times. But this new clinical trial seems to be working. And so,
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So now just say, I had an experience with it and it's gone. And I'm grateful for all the treatment I have and the people that worked with me, nurses, and with therapy and whatever whoever you came across. Just see them all as a blessing.
Yes.
They all helped you. And so, by the way, I really like your stained glass window behind you.
Thank you.
It's beautiful. It is. Yeah. It's perfect for you. And it's got all the chakras too. Let me see. Sometimes you get blocked in the 3rd chakra, which is the gut, and that's where you're overthinking. So you want to clear that out. I'll tell you, the best place to go is go to YouTube and type in the crystal bowls, and you can listen to the sounds of the crystal bowls. You can listen to all 7 of them because they have all 7 chakras, and then breathe in the 3rd chakra. If you get what are they called? Oh my God, this is where okay, come on, Monica. You know the chimes. Got it. When you buy chimes, don't buy the kind that are just made of copper. Get them where they have a specific tune. I get mine in A minor, which is the 6th chakra. A minor. I like minor keys. I'm attracted to that instead of major, so I picked out the A minor. It's a long one, maybe 12, probably 2 feet high is the longest one, and then they're shorter, and they're made of aluminum. And nowadays, you have to buy those online because there's very few metaphysical bookstores. unless you probably maybe East West Bookstore in Menlo Park or Palo Alto. I forgot what it is, but we used to have one in Santa Cruz and it closed. It was the best one. Anyway, so when you buy chimes, find it for you. The key of F would be the heart, and you can let it play for a while. I can't listen to the key of A minor for a long time because it opens up my intuition too much. So I have to time up after a while. But I haven't found other ones. Anyway, so get one in the key of F, and that'll open your heart to yourself and to other people. I feel there there was a yeah there you were punishing yourself for no reason because you're trying to find a reason why did this happen, it's not a punishment at all. It's something that you went through, but it brings you to such a high level of spirituality that you're able to actually attract more people that you'll be able to teach other people about health, and
Yeah, and I'm amazed at the amount of people that have blessed my life throughout this journey.
that's
So
right.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
been very, very loving experience, and it's
Yeah,
yeah,
you're
thank
gonna
you.
be fine,
Yeah.
I just wanted to give you a reading based on the voice that I heard, and anybody else wants me to
Yeah.
chime in, I will. I'm more than
Thank you.
happy to give you a
Thank
reading.
you.
Is this Corky?
Monica, this is
Yeah, hi.
Corky.
Hi
Yeah.
there. I just want
So
to,
much.
you know my story with Dottie, right? And that you were the one who made it possible for she and I to meet. I took a class from you in
Oh my
19
gosh.
19 something or other, before the center, I mean, we've had the center for 26 years, so it was before that. We've been together
Yeah.
for over 40 years, so it was before that. And that you taken this class and you said, okay, we're going to do this manifestation, and it's going to be the Mani Padme Om
Oh yes.
meditation, and you do it for 21 days or something like that, every twice a day, but make sure you do it at the same time every day. And I was working graveyard over at HP, so I would do it, be able to do it on one of my breaks, and during my lunchtime I'd be able to go into a private place and do the ohms and do the thing and do all that kind of stuff. And then during the day I had time that I could do it, and write it down and make sure that when you say your meditation, that when you say your
Chant.
affirmations, that it's exactly the same one every time that you write it down, make sure you say it precisely. And within 2 weeks I was introduced to Dottie, and that was what I was asking for, was the love of my life, and blah 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 and all that kind of stuff.
There you go.
I'm
And
doing that
Wonderful.
now, so I hear you.
So,
well, it
so
worked for me, it worked for
Yeah.
Dottie, so
okay.
That chant is the most powerful chant in the universe. It's Om Mani Padme Hum. And I say it in a very deep voice, so it sounds like this, and say it very slowly. Om Mani Padme Hum. In one breath, and you repeat it over and over. And
Great.
what happens is all of a sudden you find a council of like 12 entities that appear. The first time I said it 64 times in a row, and that council appeared, and I said, "What can I do for you?" And I said, "Well, I only have $300 and it's Christmas time." This was back in the late 70s. It's a Christmas time, and I want to buy my family some really nice gifts. And at Joseph Magnin, they have a Wheel of Fortune, and you can turn it, and it can, most of the numbers are 10% off, then 20% off, a few 30, a couple of 40s, and one 50% off. And so this man, there was the one in the middle spoke. He said, "See the Wheel of Fortune behind me?" I said, "Yes." And he said, "Look at the numbers." And I said, "Oh, they're all 50." He says, Spin it with your left hand, and you will always hit the 50 because there's no other number but 50." So I went to Joseph Magnus, went to the first apartment, and I spun it with the right hand, and went, oh no. I spun it with the right hand, and it came at 30%. But I went to the next department, like purse and shoes, and I spun it with the left hand, and I got 50% off. And anytime somebody got 50% off in the PA system, they would announce so and so in bags and accessories got 50% off. Then I went to the third department and I spun it with the left hand. It was lingerie. And they said, oh, what, Monica just spun 50% off again. This is twice. Then I went to the next department. I spun it with the left hand again, and I forgot what it was, jewelry. And I spun it and it hit 50% again. Well, now all the managers congregate because they're trying to figure out what am I doing? Do I have a magnet or something? I said, you can check me. I said, it's just my lucky day, isn't it? And
That's
so,
wonderful, Monica.
yeah, I ended up doing it 4 times. I actually got the 50% off. And that's when I realized how powerful those beings were. And anytime I need to connect with them, I do that. And I do them every day. And I say, thank you for my health. Thank you for rewiring my brain. Thank you because I had to learn how to walk again.
Yeah.
And
You're
so,
doing amazingly well. And Jan Ewers has raised her hand, so I want to make sure. Jan?
who's
Hi.
that? Oh,
There she is.
okay.
Hi.
Okay, well,
You what?
Corky, you
Okay.
you did the
I have a
chant,
friend
which is
with me,
most
Sylvia.
powerful. Oh, I was just telling Corky for the last time that you did the chant, you did it right, and you got exactly what you were.
Yes, I did, and I'm so happy that I did.
I am too, because it's been. I mean,
That was
that's a beautiful thing.
1983. 1983.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yep.
Well, who else wanted to talk to me? There was.
Jan Ewers.
Jan Ewers. Come on, Jan.
Hi, Monica,
Oh,
and
hi.
everybody. Hi,
Hi.
I have a friend here with me who has a question. Her name is Sylvia. You're on.
Yeah, I can't see your face.
Okay, I know it's kind of blurry.
There
Okay.
you are. Okay, you're in the corner. I
Yeah.
can see you. Hi, Sylvia.
Hi. I have a granddaughter, um, and it's a real mess with my son and her mom, and I just want to know what's going to happen with that situation. They're not together anymore.
Okay.
Now
Let me get this right, okay?
uh,
So who's not together?
my son and the mother of my grandchild.
Okay. And what is the issue? The grandchild?
No, well, yeah, my son's trying to get
Custody.
Custody.
full custody because the mom is she's really not, she's a narcissist, and
Uh-huh.
she's really not taking care of my granddaughter correctly,
Okay, I've got an answer for you right now, okay? So I want you to
yeah,
listen. I want you to listen. You're going to
yeah,
have to follow through. I want you to start visualizing her a different personality. Don't label her a narcissist or anything negative, because that's what's going to keep her there. If you say a prayer, just say, I want her to reach her full potential, because inside of her there is a good person. She's only covering it up because she's got issues, and I can see they're controlling issues. Okay, she's controlling. So what you want to do is say, okay, I want to visualize her in a place where she's amicable with everyone, and she's going to be fair with everybody. Now, I'm going to cast this burden and I'm going to give it to God, and I'm going to set myself free, because you shouldn't be carrying this burden around at all. And then with your son, there's a reason why he drew her to him. And this whole scenario, I mean, he picked her. He picked her as the mother of his child. And so there's a dynamic going on between the two of them, and you want them to learn the lessons that they each have, both of them, in order for them to ascend and to transcend this uh, temporary situation. It's not a permanent situation. Look at it as temporary, but wish her the best. Wish your son the best, and also for your grandchild the best as well. But don't, because I see like a burden on your back, like a weight on your back. I want you to blow that up and give it to your higher power to take care of. And you, if you do that and you're consistent with it, it'll work, because there's nothing more powerful than prayer. You got it?
Okay. Okay.
You must do that. You must do that.
And
Okay.
I want you
you.
all to know, yes, thank you. And I want you all to know that this was not what we were expecting at all, that Monica would be doing these incredible readings, but it brings it to the present moment. So if anyone has a question as well as would like to share their own experience,
Yeah.
we want that. We want
Yeah.
that. That's what's happening right now.
And
Yeah,
thank
we
you,
go
Monica.
with we go with the flow.
That's right.
Who's calling me?
I would just say thank you.
Oh, and say hi to Dottie for me. I always
Yes.
want to get.
She's right here.
She's
Hi,
right here.
Dottie. Oh my gosh, I've always wanted to get a reading from her, and I
Okay.
haven't done that. I don't know why.
Well, give us a
Well,
call.
we'll make it happen.
Okay.
Now Donna Christensen has her hand raised.
Hi,
I
Donna.
am. Hi, it's so nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. I love your
Hi,
hair.
thank you.
You're in the
Thank you.
purple.
I would love to keep in touch with you, Monica. What is your contact information?
Well, you can go to Monnica.com, which Monnica.com. You can email from there, or you can, there's my phone number. You can text me at that number.
Okay.
It's area code 831-688-8884.
You said that pretty fast.
831 688
688 8,
8884.
a lot of eights.
You know why?
Thank
Because
you.
I'm a numerologist and I'm missing the number 8. It's karmic. So I have it wherever I can use it. Even my email address is monica888@yahoo.com. So I get the number wherever I can, you know. Yeah.
Thank you. I'll be in touch.
Oh, that'd be great. I'd love to talk to you. Yes, thank you. Do you have a question for me?
I do
Okay.
not at this time.
Okay.
Thank you.
So Ann Corbin, anything else? Janice Evers or
No, I just wanted to say thank you so much for bringing me that truth. And that's
oh yeah.
exactly what I was hearing through your talk. So I just so appreciate it.
Yeah,
And I just want to say,
you're ascending to a higher level of frequency. You were stuck, and this got you unstuck. You see?
Thank you. I've been needing that push.
Yeah, well now it's there. It happened. So
well,
you
Ja-
broke
what
through.
Janet
wonderful.
Hilton's.
So Monica, Janet Helt has raised her hand.
Janet, hell, is she there?
Yeah,
She's not on the visual, but she's on verbal.
I know her.
you do.
Hi. Yeah, we go back. I apologize. My video is broken.
Aw.
No worries, Janet.
But um,
Do you still have long hair?
I sadly got vaccinated in 2021 for the COVID, and I was one in 1 million women over 50 years old who lost all their hair as a result of getting vaccinated.
The vaccination was really bad for us. As a matter of fact, a lot of people got cancer from the vaccination, but they pushed it. I was getting 2 knee replacements, so I was going to the hospitals, and I went ahead and got the vaccination because California, the statistics in California, especially in the Bay Area, there was a lot of deaths happening, and so with the side effects, I contacted my British friend I said, what did you find out about the vaccination and how it's really hurt people? And he said, oh, I have a whole book written about it. And in fact, don't get any more of those vaccinations because they're actually causing a lot more problems. So, um, did your hair grow out, Janet?
It's growing back, and like you, I take biotin and collagen to help with the hair growth, and it's actually back to where I can pull it into a ponytail.
Okay, oh, good. You can also use red light therapy on your head. It's shaped into a baseball cap, and it's got red lights in the inside. And what it does is it helps with the stimulate the hair growth. Red light therapy is really, really popular. You can get those masks. Um, like even on Amazon, you can get them for like $79 and get the 8 different lights because they each do a different thing, you know. But the red light is it grows back collagen. After I lost a lot of weight because, you know, at one point I was weighing 280 pounds, you know, and I don't weigh that much any longer. So I lost a lot of weight, and when you have a lot of weight loss, there's a lot of hanging skin on the arms, you know, and the legs, and you look a mess, you know. Here, and I don't want to do any more surgeries like tummy tucks and stuff. But my face also started really drooping, so I went to red light therapy. Those sessions are typically like $100 a session, but you can buy one of those masks and own them, you know. But you can also use the green light for age spots. You can put them on your hands. The green light's for that. You know, there's a white light that's actually, it really goes deep, deep into the different layers and it plumps it up, you know. So try to get a hold. God, I wish I can find you one of those baseball caps that have the red light. But you can take the mask, and you can, you know, you can bend the mask and put it right over your head, and let it sit for like maybe 20 to 30 minutes, and do it every day for 3 months, and you'll notice a big difference.
So
Wow.
this is wonderful, and I just want to remind everybody that the views of the speaker are not necessarily I just have to say that disclaimer. That these are from wisdom from Monica.
Yeah, I
This
mean,
is absolutely wisdom from
yeah,
Monica.
I only tell things that I know I've tried before, and otherwise I wouldn't promote them at all, you know. This is just, you know, you can buy these masks for up to $3,000, but why spend that kind of money when a lot of people now are making it affordable at $69, $79. So they're just called red light LED masks. You know, that's what they call. But I know that it made a big difference when I went to my class reunion. People said, "My God, you look so young today." I don't because I don't have all my makeup and I'm not glamorous. Quite frankly, I fell asleep today, you know.
No
And
worries.
so,
So, Monica, I want you to know that JB Goodyear, has raised his hand.
But I
I'm
never
hoping.
got to ask my question.
Oh,
oh,
I'm
go
sorry.
ahead.
Excuse me. Go ahead. Go
I,
ahead. I'm sorry,
my
Janet.
Thank you. I have a question about my wife. Her name is Crystal West, and she's been having some heart pounding. I mean, she went to the emergency room and they did a whole series of tests and everything, and she was fine.
Yeah.
But she's still having some residue symptoms. I'm just curious about her health.
Yeah, it seems to me that there's some anxiety going around. You know, it's not with, you know, acid reflux or anything like that, but I feel anxiety around her and just kind of waiting for it to happen, you know, and I feel that she feels it, especially like when she's laying down or falling asleep. And I feel that um okay. I I feel that in the morning she should take B12. And she's also overthinking because I see her neurological system. She is overthinking. She needs to do some very deep breathing. Inhale from the nose, hold it, and exhale from the mouth. Do 5 of those very, very slowly. That'll calm her down. And also, the third thing I got from her was to write down whatever's on her mind. Just, because our thoughts are not in the third dimension. They're in a different frequency. Otherwise, we'd be able to see everybody's thoughts, right? So, if you put it on paper, it's now in the third dimension. You can see it. So that's one of the things, in order to empty your head, that'll release a lot of the anxiety. She only needs to write a paragraph. I used to do that, but I got very bored. I'm in Aries and Moon in Gemini, and it's like, I need to make this more fun. So I actually picked like 5 colors, and each color represented an emotion. So if I write in pink, that means I was in the pink, everything's rosy. If I was writing in red, that means I was really pissed off. If I had write in black, I was really depressed. Or in blue, I had the blues. Or if I had great ideas, I'd write in light blues, like ideas come out of the blue. If I felt really centered, I'd write in purple. So every emotion had a color. And I'd write in green when I felt so grateful for my life. And at the end of the month, I'd write down how many days I'd wrote in red, how many days in green, how many days in purple. And I noticed a cycle because back then it was the 1980s. I was in my 30s, and it still had my cycle. Back then, I noticed that it was happening during PMS. And it was also later on, I noticed that it was really happening during my biorhythms. If you guys, there is a really good website. It's called bio-chart.com. bio-chart.com. And you can select whatever language you want. It was actually started in Germany, but it is so accurate. It tells you where your intellect, your emotional, and your physical are. And it is so accurate. So go to biochart.com, write this down. You'll thank me for that. I always check mine as well. I also check Mercury retrograde as well, because Mercury retrograde, if you know your astrology chart, you can see what house it's in, which house is affecting you. So that goes hand in hand. Again, I just know a lot of stuff. You know, I can sit here and talk for hours about a
That
lot of
is
solutions.
wonderful. So, and now the next person that would like to speak with you is JB. JB, can you unmute?
Yeah, thank you, Janet.
Hi.
Hi, Monica. Well, I don't have a question. I just wanted to thank you for the topic. It's kind of dear to me. Um, Maybe probably one of the first lessons I needed to learn when I was before I was 20, when I was kind of starting on a spiritual path, at least consciously, was this idea of taking responsibility for my experience. And
I have a message for you.
oh yes.
Yeah, you were in a religious, like a priest in a previous incarnation in the south of France, and you found it to be such BS, and you saw right through it. You said, "Well, what am I doing with these Catholics here? This, no, I don't want this." So you came into this lifetime and decided to take a spiritual path because you found breaking away from religion was something you needed to do because you saw right through it and you saw the hypocrisy. That was my
Oh,
message for you.
thank you. I was the story I guess I was telling was at the time in my life when I was not at all spiritual or religious, but I had this constant um, nagging doubt or feeling that I needed to know one way or the other whether I would be happily remain atheist or whether there was something bigger. and I was shown right away. But what I'm resonating with what you just said, Monica, is that that was sort of an obsession at that time in my life. The idea of whether I would begin a spiritual journey.
Yeah, but you did.
I did.
Yeah. Bravo.
Thank you.
Welcome. It's like I call these other people demongelicals because that's what they are. They're demongelicals because they're not doing things out of love, they're doing things out of hate. And I just came up with that word. I guess, sometimes I write it in my Instagram, in my remarks about these people that are not at all Christian or even aware, but you are. You're doing it. And again, you had a bad experience and you saw the hypocrisy. You came in with religion and thought, no, I don't think so. So good for you. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you, Monica.
And I just want to honor JB, if I may share. Having a conversation with JB, we're wanting to invite him into our UCM family.
Oh.
And he does amazing work at Washington Hospital as a chaplain. He is their head chaplain, and he is amazing.
Oh, that's amazing.
I had the privilege, I had the privilege of being with his chaplaincy group. All different faith traditions represented in such a beautiful way. And everyone is looking to JB as their mentor, as their support. And I just really want to honor that, JB. I'm so glad you were drawn to us, and I'm so glad that you are here tonight.
Well, thank you. I've found over the years that what's really important is not the doctrine or theology specifically, but the honoring the universal truth. And so I focus on that. Universal truth can be found in so many different religious contexts and teachings. And I like to bring like-minded folks together and to try to provide that service and support in the hospital where I'm working.
I love it.
It's beautiful. So now, Monica, our Tom Gary would like to have a reading.
Tom Gary? Tom Gary?
You're Tom Gary. Absolutely. We talked about it. He's on the phone. They're not able to get on the visual.
Hi, Tom and Mary. I remember your tomatoes.
Okay, she just said hi to you, Tom and Mary. Did you hear her? Say it again.
I remember your tomatoes that they grew in the backyard, and they brought in their tomatoes with some salt. It was so delicious. They lived in Santa Clara, and I remember them so well. And I sponsored Tom Gary back in the day, probably in the 1980 something, early 80s. Thank you, Tom. What is your question?
What is your question, Mary?
Janet, you can take it to her. It's that he just seems to have this recurring respiratory thing, and he'll start to get better, and it comes back. It's not his way usually, but if you got anything on that, I would love it.
Okay. What Mary is saying to me, Monica, is Tom has a reoccurring respiratory situation that seems to be reoccurring, and she wants to know if you have any information or any thoughts on that.
I have the same thing. Yes. Okay. Let's look at Tom and respiratory. Typically, when on a metaphysical level, I like to look at the metaphysical reasons why we have things that we deal with in the body, and typically with respiratory, it has to do with a need to get things off your chest. So there's a suppression of it and not speaking your truth. And so that's one of the things you want to look at. so that you can, you know, speak up, say whatever you need to say, your truth. And I think it seems like he learned that a long time ago, to not get things off his chest. I think that that was an ongoing a way of life for him, um, since he was a lot younger. I don't even know how old he is anymore because I just remember him
70. He's
in the
70,
80s,
Janet.
He's in his 90s.
What?
He's
90,
90.
right.
Oh my
Yes, he's
gosh,
90.
Tom.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, beautiful couple. Anyway, okay, so let's see. Let's see what I'm gonna get to see what this a voice says about letting go. Okay, remember what I said earlier, having experience with it, not having it. Don't own it. Okay, let that go. Enough already is what I heard. You've had enough already. You should be done with it. Okay. Visualize it inside your body, turn it into black and white, put an X around it, and then throw it away. To your left is your past. Light it on fire. See it turn to ashes. See those ashes then form a rocket ship and send the rocket ship up to the sun. See the sun disperse like glitter all the way to the ground, growing in its place. So you're turning a negative situation into a positive one, but you have to burn it first. Then you have a positive experience. Okay, I hope I didn't go too fast with the remedy. Of course, you guys are always welcome to call me. I would love to talk to you, and I can go through that process because, again, I'm also a neurolinguistic therapist, by the way. I studied I
That's
studied
right.
with Tony Robbins for about 10 years, so I know a lot of different ways of changing the mindset. And the mindset, one of the things you can do, they're called submodalities, list all the things that we call limitations on the left side of the paper. On the right side, all our assets, all the positive things about us, and then throw away the other stuff and only focus on the right side and only think that those thoughts, and your mind automatically switches back to what maybe in your past, maybe you were super successful and super healthy, and so if you focus on those things on the right, your brain will automatically start to heal everything. I always say I am set to the default setting. It's called love. And if I'm on the default setting called love, that means it affects my glands, my organs, neurological, muscular, vascular, skeletal, the molecules, protons, neutrons, electrons, and my cells. Since they're all love, everything is healthy because it can't help but be healthy. So I think that don't focus on the respiratory stuff. Be done with it already and use that process that I just showed you. But once again, if I went too fast, I can actually talk you through it and do it a lot slower so that you can get full impact from that. Okay?
That's a beautiful thing. Thank you, Monica. And they'll also have this recorded so they can listen to it
I want
again.
them to call me.
This is all being recorded, and Monica wants you to call Mary and Tom. So please call Monica.
I miss them so much.
She
I always
misses you.
think, yeah, I do. And anytime I see that I need to pray for them, I always think back about the tomatoes. You know, that was so nice. So yeah, I want them to call me. That's my number, 831-688-8884, easy. Just text me and then I'll call you.
Wonderful. I will help her through that.
Okay. Does
I'll go
Mary have
over
a
and help.
question for Mary?
Mary, do you have a question? Mary, do you have a question for Monnica?
No, I'm
Okay.
just so excited about what she's given us for Tom. You know, we've been together so long, we're linked up. So I will grow in health as he grows. It will be wonderful. And she's just been splendid all evening. It was so exciting. It was so frustrating that our systems were down. We couldn't be online. But thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Wonderful. Did you
Thank
get that?
you.
Yes.
Yes,
Beautiful.
I did. Definitely.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So, I mean,
Okay, we'll call
again,
tomorrow when
our,
he's more, it'll be better.
Beautiful.
Okay.
again,
Okay.
our greatest responsibility is to make wise choices every single moment. And if we fall back and start thinking negative stuff, what I say is, hey, that's old Monica thinking. I don't roll that way anymore. That's what I say. Okay, I'm using the vernacular, so a little bit more hip, so to speak. So anyway, yeah, that is our greatest responsibility. When we all do our part, we will change this world. And there's a lot. I never liked this word, but I'm going to use it anyway for lack of a better one. Light workers. I don't care for that. Maybe there's a better one you can think of, but anyway, that particular one is there's more people that are light workers that are around nowadays than they were a long time ago. There's just more people that are wanting to help, and wanting to um, succeed and enlighten people. That's good. Enlighten. I like that word. Enlighten people to their maximum potential, to show them that everybody is very, very powerful and we can actually win. There's like 7 billion of us, but there's so many people that are traumatized. So what I do is I send love to humanity. I send love to the animal kingdom because I love animals. Animals are here. Our pets, they're here to teach us how to love. They're here for a short time, and some people disrespect them.
Yes.
And
So
they
sorry.
can't do that. They're here to teach us how to love unconditionally. And when we learn that, my gosh, you'll greet when you come to the door and your dog's wagging its tail, don't brush by it, kneel down and say hello and give it a kiss, and it's been waiting for you all day. And with my cats, one is they're ferals, so one of them is afraid of people. She's lived in this house for 3 years, and she adopted this other brother that was a feral. He's very, very affectionate, and she sees that I'm very affectionate to him, but I talk to her very sweetly, but she still runs away from me. So whatever, at least I've given her a good life. She's not, pharaohs don't, they usually live about 2 years because they get hit by cars and stuff, but I'm protecting them. So I'm doing my part. I'm a cat person.
Hey, John,
Yeah.
did you have a question?
Definitely.
My question is the some ideas about how to get through the big change that's coming up in the next few months as the country changes and the political system changes.
Yeah, and stay focused. Your only reality and your responsibility is to stay very, very aligned with your higher power. Work in tandem with that. Your higher power is love, therefore you are love too. So stay in a place of love. If you can, watch the news and let it go in one ear and out the other and just say, this too will change because it's an illusion. It's an illusion. This is an illusion. Everything's an illusion. So create your own reality and live in peace and harmony. And like I said, let karma finish it. That's the best thing that we can do is let karma finish it. And we don't need to burden ourselves we've got the things that we're going through right now, like I said or before, this had to happen to us. And they had to happen for us because we were complacent. We were living in a place where we had a cushy life, so to speak. And, the reality, like a lot of other people on the planet, didn't have it so good. They've had a lot of turmoil, but now we get to see what it's like to have a life that has a, a need for change, so to speak. And we're up for that. And this is a great time for us to shine by saying, okay, you know what? You're a powerful person. Don't let this get the better of you. Don't buy into it. Otherwise, you become a part of it. You don't need to be in that reality. Otherwise, it becomes real for us. And that's not an option for me. It's not an option for anybody. And so I'm hearing the phone ring. Okay, anyway.
So thank you so much, Monnica. What you've given us is a recipe for just being in our big love power. And you use the word love, and you use the word light workers, and I would call us love workers.
Oh, I like that. Love workers.
And so, we can hold the ground of love, hold the mystery.
And yeah, I wanted to say the newborns that are coming into this world are actually very, very old souls.
Yes.
And it's amazing what you can learn from them, and they're remembering. I've been watching on Instagram, all these kids are remembering their past lives. They say, "Oh, when I was big and I used to have 5 children and I lived, and they can pinpoint where they lived." So I love the fact that they're enlightened souls. Pay attention to them as well.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. Monnica, this has been so magnificent. I want to thank each and every one of you for being a part of this amazing evening. And
thank you all, definitely. I really want to do this again.
Yes. Yes. And just remember, Monnica, this purple candle is lit for you and for all of us.
Thank you so much, everyone, for showing up. I keep seeing hearts and wave. How do you do that?
It's magic. On the Zoom call.
On the Zoom call? Oh, there's another heart. Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I love
That's all for you. Take it in, Monnica.
Oh, tell me about it. I'm magnetized and I'm taking it in. Yeah, the only thing that's happening now for me is my life mate, and I reunited with him after 25 years, but he is on the fence. Honey, he's 74 years old. You don't have a bunch of time, but I feel him coming back. And if not, my higher power will bring me the right person within the next 5 months.
Beautiful.
I can already feel it, because nobody needs to be alone. You really don't. It's okay to have companionship. So,
absolutely.
And then moving back to the ocean, which I'm going to do.
Wonderful.
So, anyway, thank you Thank you, everybody,
for
participating.
And, remember the speaker series is here for you, and we are a community together. And Monnica, Reverend Monnica Sepulveda, take all of our love and gratitude and peace and wrap it around you like a blanket.
Well, I want to do this again, and I like how you pronounce my name like in Spanish, Mónica.
Sí.
Thank you.
Gracias por todo.
Oh, muchas gracias para ustedes también. And much love to you, and make wise choices. And thank you for being a part of this evening with me.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.